Hi guys, it's your Captain B, and I'm back with another video. Um, so before we get started, every YouTube influencer has um, an introduction on their channel, and they have something that they like to call their subbies. So I thought about this long and hard, and I came up with something. So you guys are gonna be my crew, and I'm Captain B. So this is how it'll start at the beginning of the videos. I'll say at the intro, I'll say, "What's up, crew? It's your Captain B, and I'm back with another video." And we'll continue on. So I just want to give you all that info. I pondered on it for a long time, but I finally came up with something that I liked, and I think you all will like too. So what's up, crew? It's your Captain B, and I'm back with another video. So excuse the lighting. My 5 year old is here, and I'm trying to entertain her in another room, and so I kind of had to sacrifice and come into another room, which the lighting isn't all that good. But check your girl out. Yeah, I got those lashes on. I got the Remy by Kiss, jet black, no knots, flare on, and I did those myself. I don't know if you can see, but I did those myself. And this is my makeup look for today. Very short, sweet, and simple. And this is my hair. Short, sweet, and simple. I didn't want to do too much because I'm not going anywhere. And this is cardigan that I got from a place called Berry Look. I got it online. I don't know if you guys can see the design on the back, but yeah, it's a cute little cardigan. I finally received, and so that's my look for today. Not too much, but without any other further ado, let's get straight into this video. So today we're going to talk about my baby girl Micah. I wanted to talk about her health and an update on her and where we are as far as the surgery is concerned, her weight gain. Um, if you are new to my channel, first please subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified of when I upload a video. And for those of you who are visiting back, thank you and welcome back. So, let's start with this. So Micah was born 11/18/18, and she was born 5 pounds 9 ounces. Um, she wasn't diagnosed with Down syndrome until approximately 24 hours later. Um, there was really nothing about her physical appearance that gave off that she had Down syndrome. What happened with her was she failed all her tests. You know, if you've had a baby, you know when you get up to your room, your suite, they come in. Several nurses will come in and take your baby for several different tests. Um, and your baby has 3 times to pass or fail those tests. Well, fail. And at the third time that they fail those tests, then they start to look further into what the problem would be. One of those tests is a heart defect test. So, my husband and I, we were in the room and we were enjoying her and just happy she came and um, just yeah, we were just overjoyed. Partly because a few years ago I did miscarry a baby, and that was kind of hard on me and him. So to be blessed to get pregnant and be able to carry a baby full term was a blessing. I had never had that problem before. I had always gotten pregnant and carried my babies, and then we had that mishap where I miscarried the baby. I miscarried the baby fairly early though. So yeah, after that, got pregnant with Micah, and she made it. So we were just enjoying our time with her and enjoying the fact that she um she made it, and she made it safely. Excuse me, guys, cause I wanted to wear the cardigan. Cardigan hot. Cardigan hot, baby. Cardigan gonna have to come off and lay it down. So yeah, So we were just enjoying baby girl, and a couple of nurses had came in, and they took her to go do her hearing test, brought her back, and she failed her hearing test. So that had never happened before. So I'm like, okay, I wonder what's up with that. And they was like, well, it happens. It could be a false reading or something. We'll just do it later on. We'll do it at another time. I'm like, okay, cool. So then they came in. Um, Let me back up. It was hard to get her temperature regulated when she was first born. Never had that happen with any of my other babies at birth. Always was cool with the temps. Her body temperature was fairly low. So that was something that they kept testing. They had to stick her on her foot in the heel of her foot to test her blood sugar. And so keeping her wrapped up was very important, and keeping a hat on her head was very important. So then another nurse came in, and they wanted to take her and do whatever other tests. Long story short, with that, the house pediatrician came in and notified me that she had some concerns about Micah. One being she was jaundiced. If you're not familiar with that, it's where your bilirubin levels are off, and they have to they put you under a light. They call them Billy lights at the hospital. They put you under this light. It looks like a blue light for real, but it's not. They put you under these lights, and that's to get your blood cells to move along and regulate and do what they supposed to do. But so we had to put her under the Billy lights, and but she told me that she contacted the nurse practitioner from the NICU, and that she wanted her to come and examine her. And I told her that was fine. So they brought me my baby back, and me and my husband just kind of looked at her, and we were just looking at each other like, we gonna stay prayerful that nothing is wrong with her. But I think in our hearts we both knew that something was wrong with her. We just didn't know what it could possibly been. So fast forward, the nurse practitioner, she called. Actually, she called while the house pediatrician was talking to me. And so the house pediatrician stepped out to take the phone call, and she came back and she let me know that the nurse practitioner was ready for her. So they took her back down there. And it was about, I want to say like 20 minutes, and it might have not even been that long. I might have just been tripping, because I'm like, okay, I haven't experienced this with any of my other deliveries. And so now I'm wondering what's going on with my baby. So the nurse practitioner comes back with another nurse, and she had the baby with her. And so she said, um, are you familiar with Down syndrome? And instantly, like, my heart instantly, I guess, I don't want to say that my heart dropped, because I wasn't scared. I was I did feel a sense of relief, because it could have been a whole lot worse. And so when she said Down syndrome, I'm like, well, I don't have anybody in my family with Down syndrome, but yes, I have encountered people with Down syndrome. I have had to be in association and deal with people with Down syndrome before. I've taken care of people with Down syndrome before. So yeah, I'm familiar with it. And she was like, well, you know, your baby has Down syndrome. That's why her eyelids are droopy. She has failed her heart defect test several times. That scared me. That's when it was like, okay, where y'all taking her to the NICU? Hurry up, let's get her down there, get her hooked up so we can get this on the road. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we gonna find out what's going on, and either the test results gonna come back and everything gonna be clear, or they're gonna wind up having to keep my baby. And that broke my heart. Just the thought of that, I wasn't gonna be able to take my baby home with me, broke my heart. So I immediately got emotional. My husband got emotional, because the whole time we sitting in the hospital not knowing that our baby's got a hole in her heart. She's got jaundice. She is her temperature is fairly low. Um, she needs oxygen. All of these things. So me being the parent that I am, I didn't want to get in their way. So I told them, listen, we'll be down there shortly. I'm going to give you all some time to get her down there and get her set up the way you all need to without me being in the way and being panicky and being, I don't do this. And, I didn't want to be all like that. So um, told him, let me give me my baby. Let me hug my baby. Let me kiss my baby. And we hugged her and we kissed her. And, it was vital that they get her down there because she needed oxygen. So they got her down there, and my husband and I ain't gonna lie, we took it bad. We took it bad at the hospital. We took it bad because we weren't expecting that. And it's like we knew that our lives were gonna change drastically. We knew then. So fast forward, it's time for me to go home. So it's time for my OB who had been checking me and following my pregnancy. It's time for him to come. He wasn't the one that delivered the baby. Another doctor delivered the baby. So I was coming out of the bathroom and I had been crying. So my face was swollen. My eyes were swollen. So when he walked in the room, he was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And, I'm like, "She was born with Down syndrome." And he was like, "What?" And so we were talking, and like I told him, I've made my peace with it and I'm okay as long as they can do what they need to do to make sure my baby gets healthy and, guide me and direct me medically to do my part to take care of her and so we can get whatever we need to get done. So they checked me out, gave me the okay to leave. Now they were gonna let me stay in my room, but I ain't want to hog up no space like that, and I wasn't there for my comfort. I was there to make sure my baby was all right. So I didn't really care about me sleeping comfortably or having a TV to watch. I ain't care about none of that because they don't have that down in the NICU. Now they do have a family lounge in the NICU where you can go take a shower, eat, store food, watch TV, make phone calls, get on the computer or whatever. But I ain't really spend a lot of time in there either. But anyway, so I started to gather myself together, and we went on down to the NICU, and we stayed down there with baby girl for a long time. We stayed down there for a while, and they had her hooked up to oxygen. She was on zero point 0.1 liters of oxygen, which for an adult is not nothing. It's like, but for her was significant given the circumstances with her heart. And the thing with that is I kind of was pissed off about that because they didn't tell me that it was an option. Either she could get a feeding tube, which would it would be a little, very little thin little plastic tube to go down her throat, and they would tape it to her face to hold it down to keep her from pulling it or whatever, or she could get an IV, and I would have preferred for them just to give her a feeding tube, not an IV, because what I didn't know is infant IVs don't work the same as adult IVs. When we go to the hospital, once they put an IV in us, that's in for the stay. It's no need to replace it. It's in for the stay. But with infants, theirs is not. You can't keep theirs in. You have to change it. Which means, little as my baby is, you got to keep sticking my baby because you got to find a vein. So, anyway, they wind up after a couple of days of her being in the NICU, they wind up changing that and they wind up putting her on a feeding tube because I told them, y'all ain't gonna keep on sticking my baby now. Y'all can't find no vein. Stop trying. What you trying for? If you can't do this and point pop up, or you can't put nothing little band around her arm and one pop up, give her the feeding tube. Don't keep sticking my baby. So they gave her the feeding tube. So she was in the NICU for a week after birth. So the staff at Mercy Hospital were very, very helpful, very informative, very sensitive to my needs, very sensitive with my baby, um, took care of my baby, and they in any directions that I asked them to follow, they follow with my baby, and I appreciate that. So shout out to the staff of Mercy NICU. Um, so yeah, we had to wind up meeting with the cardiologist, and we had to meet with the pulmonary doctor, and we had to meet with the genetic specialist. The cardiologist is, of course, the doctor who gives you your heart echoes and checks your heart. Um, the pulmonary doctor is, of course, a respiratory doctor, and the genetic specialist is the person who tests and confirms Down syndrome, and I'm sure any other cases like autism or anything else along those lines. So yeah, we spoke with all three of those people, of course, at different days on at different times, but we were able to speak with all of those people. So they had to I had to go through a training because she had special needs. So one of the needs were her oxygen. We had to have a concentrator brought to the house, which we still have. They won't take the concentrator out of the house or any of the oxygen tanks until after surgery. So we still have all of that, but she came home with all of that. And then what else did she come home with? She came home with a pulse ox machine. The pulse ox machine is simply the machine that they hook you up that monitors your heart rate and your oxygen level. So it's called a pulse ox machine. And she was also sent home with a sleep apnea machine, which monitors her lung and her heart activity. The machines will give you anxiety. They'll make you lose your mind because every time they beep, you looking and checking and you wigging. So finally, I was like, listen, we're gonna have to do something about that. But she came home on all of that, and within 2 weeks of being home, she was off of all of that. We did have a slight setback with a bit of a cold, and it was just a lot of mucus. So I put her back on the oxygen just because I knew she would probably need that little help. But in less than a week, all that was gone away. So we took her back off the oxygen. So now we fast forward into 3.5, 4 months later. Well, baby girl is doing excellent. All the docters involved are pleased with her, from her primary care physician. Shout out to Dr. Johnson of Johnson Pediatrics. Dr. Spivey, the pulmonary doctor, shout out to him. Dr. Bromberg, the cardiologist, shout out to him. And all the therapists, Sue, Julie, Anna, the dietitian, Kristen. I just want to thank everybody for that too. So, because they are subscribing to my channel and watching my videos, so I just want to make mention of them. But yeah, shout out to all of them because they gave me the tools that I needed in order to take care of my baby, and the only thing that I had to do was follow that and love her. That's it, and that's my baby. That's my boo right there. That's my best friend. But yeah, they gave me the tools that I needed, and we worked them, and they are amazed at how well she is doing, because a lot of babies with Down syndrome have a lot of issues, and a lot of them don't get to come home for 3 months or so. Some of them have to be rushed into their heart surgery immediately after birth because it's so hard. Some of them don't make it, and so I'm blessed to have baby girl doing as well as she's doing. I'm getting ready to wrap this video up because she's up and she's calling for best friend, mommy. So I just want to give you all a briefing on that. Now, this is part 1. I will have a part 2 because part 2 is going to be the pre-op appointment I'm going to blog about, and the endocrinologist, that's for the thyroid problem. That appointment is also coming up. And then the surgery is a few days after that. So this is part 1. So stay tuned to part 2. Once again, this is your Captain B, and I'm glad to have spoke with the crew today. You all have a blessed day. Love, peace, and respect. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. If you're not, please comment down below. Comment down below. Let me get some comments up out of y'all. Comment down below and like this video. Give this video a thumbs up. I love you. Have a blessed day.